Welcome, Fright Night Vault listeners. Tonight's story begins not with screams, but with laughter. A quiet Sunday afternoon, sunlight bending through dust and cobwebs. A family of 4 rummaging through boxes in their attic. They were searching for old photographs, faded moments of birthdays and weddings, memories preserved in curling paper and cracked frames. The attic smelled of cedar and insulation, thick with age. At first, the mother found it charming, nostalgic, the way her parents' handwriting still clung to the sides of the boxes. But then her son pulled something out from beneath a stack of blankets, a book, leather-bound, swollen from decades of heat and time. The cover had no title, only a faint symbol pressed into the skin, a circle with lines radiating outward like a sun that had forgotten how to shine. They joked that it might be one of great-grandma's cookbooks. She was known for strange old remedies and kitchen experiments, so they carried it downstairs, placing it on the dining table among the half-filled coffee cups and photographs. When they opened it, the pages whispered, dry, brittle, and warm to the touch, as though something inside still remembered fire. The writing looked like recipes at first, herbs, mixtures, instructions, but the words twisted oddly, and every page seemed to shimmer faintly when the light shifted. They laughed it off, of course. It was just ink, old eyes, imagination. By evening, the book sat closed beside the fruit bowl. But upstairs, in the attic where it had slept for generations, something else had awakened. The air moved, just once, a faint, heavy exhale, as though the house itself was relieved to breathe again. The next morning began the same way it always did. Coffee brewing, the father reading the news, the children getting ready for school. Except for one thing. The house felt different. The air was heavy, like humidity before a storm. Every sound seemed to echo too long. A chair scraping, the drip of the sink. Even their footsteps felt slower, absorbed by the walls. The mother noticed it first. She said she kept hearing something behind her, a faint shuffle, like someone dragging their fingertips across the wallpaper. When she turned, nothing was there. That afternoon, the daughter came home early from school. She walked into the kitchen and found the book open again, though no one had touched it. The same page, over and over, a passage written in looping, uneven ink. Every time she blinked, the words looked different. By nightfall, the family started arguing. The father swore the attic door had been shut. The son swore he heard voices whispering his name from inside. They went up to check, and sure enough, the door was open, the ladder unfolded, the air colder than before. They didn't see it, but the attic's insulation had begun to ripple, not from wind, from something breathing. Downstairs, the lights flickered once, then twice. When they came back on, the book had slid to the floor, its cover now wet, a dark smear across the center as though something had pressed a hand there from the inside. The house began to remember the thing it once held, and the family, bound by blood to the one who first sealed it, was waking it faster with every frightened glance. By the third night, the house no longer slept. The air pressed down heavy, thick enough that candles struggled to stay lit. Every wall seemed to creak inward, the wood groaning as if something inside the beams was trying to crawl out. The mother was the first to break. She woke just past midnight, shivering, though the thermostat still read 72. There was a sound, low, rhythmic, not wind, not pipes. A voice, humming from the vents. She leaned closer. It was a woman's tone, soft, tuneless, repeating, "It's still hungry." She tore herself from the vent and ran for the living room, only to find the book open again on the floor. The pages turned on their own, slow, deliberate, and this time, the words weren't words at all. They were symbols, glowing faintly, pulsing like veins under skin. Upstairs, the son began screaming. When they reached his room, he was pressed against the wall, his eyes wide and wet, staring at the ceiling. He said he saw someone up there, crawling. The father climbed onto the bed to look, and that's when the drywall moved, a ripple, followed by a sound like fingernails dragging in reverse. Then, a face pressed outward from inside the ceiling, eyes hollow, mouth opening into a sound that didn't belong to lungs. The lights exploded. For one moment, they saw her, or what was left of her. A woman's shape, her dress faded into the same pattern as the attic insulation. Her skin was gray dust, her mouth split far too wide, and her eyes burned a faint amber. She moved not by walking, but by folding through the walls, appearing closer each time the lights blinked. They fled to the kitchen, the mother clutching the book, desperate to shut it again, but every page she turned only made the whispers louder. The daughter cried that she saw someone standing behind her reflection in the oven glass. The father, shaking, grabbed the lighter from the counter and set the corner of the book ablaze. For a second, the whispers screamed, all of them, hundreds of voices at once. Then, the fire went out. Just like that. The pages were untouched. The house went silent. No light, no hum. Then, a single voice. Not from the vents this time, from the dark corner of the kitchen. It spoke with a calm, almost gentle tone, the same voice from the humming. Blood unbound what blood once sealed, and the shadows lengthened, touching their feet. Morning came gray and thin. The house was silent, the kind of silence that feels earned, as though something had taken everything noisy with it. The father sat in the kitchen, still staring at the book on the table. It was closed now, clean. The burn marks gone. The others wouldn't go near it, the mother clutching the daughter, whispering that they needed to leave. But leaving didn't help. Outside, the light was wrong. The air felt thick, blurred, as if the entire street were caught behind fogged glass. Even the neighbors' houses looked faintly warped, the windows too tall, the angles slightly off. The father took one step into the yard and froze. Across the grass, written in the morning dew, were words, the same ones that had pulsed on the pages. Only this time, they spelled something clear. She is home. That night, they moved into a motel 2 towns over. They left the house locked, lights off, curtains drawn. But still, the sounds followed. Faint knocks against the walls, whispers from the vents of rooms that didn't exist. 3 days later, the daughter woke to find a folded piece of paper beside her pillow. It was a page from the book, fresh ink, still damp. One line written neatly across the top. The spell only ends when the bloodline does. The family stopped sleeping after that. They kept the lights on, took turns staying awake, but exhaustion always won. And when they did drift into sleep, they saw her, the woman from the walls, standing at the foot of the bed, her mouth moving, her words unheard. No one knows what happened after the 5th night. The motel staff found the room empty, only the smell of smoke and the book lying open on the bedspread. The first page now bore a new name, their surname, freshly written in that same looping hand. The attic in their old home remained sealed, but sometimes neighbors say they see light through the cracks in the roof, a faint amber glow pulsing like a heartbeat. It still hungers. Subscribe to the Vault and never walk alone again. Listen in the dark. Watch with the lights off. Never open a book that remembers your name. We upload daily, and one night the story may be yours. See you on the next video.